המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת להתהילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נוסחה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
139 at the top.
לקדוש מלך ימלוך, קומיצי מתוכך פלך, רב לך שבט בימך בך, וכו יחמול עלי חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We pause now and we rise, facing the door as if welcoming the Sabbath Queen in.
גם בשמחה וצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated. It's the spirit of the singing that counts, not which verses we actually do. Page 142, we also sing this traditional Sabbath song, Shalom Aleichem, peace be upon all of you, as we sing together.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Chudil Shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malchei Hashalom, Malchei Elyon. Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Thank you. One more time, we back up this time to page 140. There are 150 psalms in our Tanakh, in our Hebrew Bible. And this psalm, number 92, is a psalm especially for Shabbat. Let's read it together in the English at the bottom of the page, and then we'll conclude with a Hebrew song that I hope some of you will know and join in with me. First, the English, bottom of 140. A psalm, a song for Shabbat. It is good to praise Adonai, to sing hymns to your name, O Most High, to proclaim your steadfast love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night, 10-stringed harp with voice and lyre together. You have gladdened me by your deeds, Adonai. I shout for joy at your handiwork. How great are your works, how very subtle your designs. A brute cannot know, a fool cannot understand this. The righteous bloom like a state palm. They thrive like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish in the courts of our God. In old age, they still produce fruit. They are full of sap and freshness, attesting that Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no wrong. So the song is Tzadik Katamar. You can find it at the indentation in the Hebrew just above. Tzadik Katamar yifrach ke'erez balvanon yizger Beveit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu, Yafrichu. Od yenuvun besevam, deshenim verananim, yiyu lehagid, ki yashar Adonai, tzuri tzuri, velo havlatabo. So it sounds like that was new for some of you, just like your the Chadodi prayer was new for me. We'll all learn different tunes together. There's actually an Israeli dance to a different tune to that song, which maybe when we learn that song, we can learn the dance too. On page 144, you'll find a Chatzi Kaddish. Kaddish is such an interesting prayer. Most people don't realize that it's mostly in Aramaic, not in Hebrew, although in a full Kaddish, the end switches to Hebrew. And what it really does most of the time is it breaks up the service for us. It's like a buoy showing us that you finish one section, you're moving on to the next. So we're finishing Kabbalat Shabbat, and this half Kaddish proves it, and then we start Ma'ariv with the Baruch Hu, the call to prayer. So please, if it is your custom, this is a call and response prayer, and so some people have the tradition that anytime you're in call and response, the congregation rises. If your custom is to sit, feel free to be seated, or if you're physically unable, don't worry about it, you can stay seated. And you can also experiment with what you like and what you don't like and see what's meaningful to you. Page 144.
Yikadol v'yikadash Shemei Rabba B'yolma divirach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei B'chaychon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dichol Beit Yisrael Bagala u'v'zman kariv V'yimaru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach, le'olam olomei olmaya, yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipoar v'yitramam v'yitnazir, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalol, Shemei dekudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol bechata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, tamiram be'olma, v'yimaru. Amen.
Page 146, the call to prayer for the evening service, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach. Hamivorach le'olam va'ed. Hamivorach, hamivorach
Now, I'm not sure what your congregation's tradition is. Some people stand through the Shema, all the way through the V'ahavta, some just for the Shema, some are seated here. Again, it's okay if we do different things as long as we do them together. So we will continue in whichever way you're comfortable, standing or seated, with page 148. If you'll join me reading together the English below the Hebrew. 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzivaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. Amen. We continue on page 150 with Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadta, Otanu limadta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. V'chavatcha al tasi, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael.
Page 152, we bear witness to God's oneness with the traditional Shema. Continuing with V'ahavta on the pages following.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
154. V'ahavta. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lachtecha v'derech, u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha, u'kshartam liot al yadecha, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. You know, there's an old joke, I don't know if it's made it to Windsor yet or not, but there was a congregation where they always argued about, do we stand for the Shema or do we sit for the Shema? And they would argue back and forth every year. Finally, they got a new rabbi. Well, actually, no, the rabbi was old, but new guys would come, and they would join right into the same argument all the time. Do we stand or do we sit? So these new guys finally decide, let's go ask the rabbi. And one says, Rabbi, isn't it the tradition that we stand for the Shema? And the other one says, no. Isn't it the tradition that we sit for the Shema? And they say, what's the tradition? He says, that's the tradition. What? We argue about it. So we don't have to argue about things. We can have different traditions and still be together in congregation. Let's turn now to the Micha Mocha prayer. And in getting ready for that, you can join me in the English on 157. This is sort of a transition, even though we're still in the evening service. We're moving from the Shema and our declaration of monotheism to the Amidah, which is perhaps the most important prayer in the service. And as a way of leading up to that, we get reminded of the Exodus from Egypt. So let's read together the English on the top of 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. So let's together sing Micha Mocha, page 158.
Ya lai 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 la 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 la, ya lai 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 la 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 la, ya lai 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 lai, la 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 la. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai, Micha Mocha nehedar b'kodesh, Nora tehilot osef ele, Nora tehilot osef ele. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, Bokei ayam lifnei Moshe, Se'elianu ve'amru, Se'elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
ונאמר, כי פת אדוני את יעקב, וגלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Page 160, this lovely prayer. We'll read this one together in English as well, a prayer for peace as we lie down, as the beginning says, Hashkivenu. And then, if you know it, you can conclude it with me in the Hebrew. 160, middle of the page, together in English. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. Amen. On 162, we'll sing together, Vishamru, top of the page.
Vishamru b'nei Israel, odile Shabbat. Sorry. La'asot et haShabbat l'dorotam brit olam beni uvein b'nei Israel. Oti le'olam beni uvein b'nei Israel. Oti le'olam ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'taretz. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash.
Page 164, you'll find the introduction to the Amidah, the evening Amidah. And it's traditional to imagine ourselves as if we're having a personal audience with God. And just as God is referred to as our leader, we don't just walk up and start asking for things. We take a moment, and the tradition is to take 3 steps back, one for each of the first words on that first line, and then 1 step forward for the last 3 words on that second line. Just like if you were going to approach a king for something, you do it with deference. So if you'd like to try that, now would be a good time to rise. There's a little tune that goes with it, which I'll do the tune.
No, please.
Okay. So 164, and then we'll go into the Amidah together on 166. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imachot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו ויהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה V'ne'emana talacha yod hakol. Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol. One more page. Atah kadosh shemcha kadosh. Ukdoshim bechol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please continue silently in either the Hebrew, the English, or your own prayers through page 178 or 9. Be seated when you're finished so that we know you're done, and when everyone is done, we'll continue together. Page 178, we continue together singing Shalom Rav, 178.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. V'tov b'necha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני עושה השלום.
Amen. Thank you. We're ready now to turn to the beginning of the concluding prayers for our service on page 376. I'd be happy to have a volunteer do the English prayer for our congregation. Anybody want to volunteer to step up and do that? Thank you. I'll be looking looking for a volunteer for the Prayer for Israel next, so you can start to get ready.
Mm-hmm.
Source of all being, may the children of this community learn these passions from us: love of Torah, devotion and prayer, and support of the needy. May we guide with integrity, and may our leadership be in your service. May those who teach and nourish us be blessed with satisfaction, and may we appreciate their time and their devotion. Bless us with the fruits of wisdom and understanding, and may our efforts bring fulfillment and joy. Baruch atah Adonai, she'ota levadcha b'yira navod.
Lovely. Thank you so much. Now, if you're brave enough to volunteer for Prayer for Israel, you can choose the Hebrew or the English. David, come. That's on the next page, page 377.
Avinu Shabbat Sur Yisrael v'Galalo, Barech Medina Yisrael, Reshit Simchat Galatena Chagen Alecha, Ve'evrat Chazdacha, Uvchos Alecha, Tukat Shlomacha, Ushlach Orcha Vamen Itcha Larashecha, Tzareha V'yoatsecha, V'naktem Be'etza Tova Melfanecha, V'natata Shalom, Baretz v'simchat olam leyosheva v'inomar amen.
Amen. Thank you. Shkach. Okay, so we're at the point in the service where you can take your nap, because I'm going to talk for a few minutes about this week's Torah portion. But before I do that, I have to ask you a question. How many people remember the new math that talked about set theory, sets and subsets? Yes. A few, not that many. So basically the idea is that when you have a set of something, you might have a subset that fits inside of that, right? So why is that important in a sermon? Akev is the name of our Torah portion, and Akev begins with the word that means to follow. It's very conditional. It says, if you follow the laws and the commandments, then everything is going to be good for you. You will be blessed, your family will be blessed, everything you do will be blessed. So what I want to share with you tonight is understanding some things about blessings, okay? Because blessings are a subset of prayer, okay? So those of us who remember the new math know that that means that all blessings are prayers, but not all prayers are blessings, okay? How do we know a blessing when we find one? Luckily for us, blessings are very formulaic. They all start with words that you know well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, right? If it's connected to a specific commandment, then we add the phrase asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, that God commanded us to do such and such a commandment. If it's not a commandment, we don't have to add that. For instance, there's no commandment to eat breakfast. But before a meal, we say hamotzi. So we just say, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We skip right to the end. But when we lit Shabbat candles, even though technically it's not in the Torah anywhere that you have to light candles for Shabbat, it is a commandment to observe Shabbat, as we talked about. And so that one has, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Or for any of the other holidays. So that's how we know the difference between which blessings are commanded and which are, what is sometimes rabbis refer to as berchot hanehanim, blessings for enjoyment. And you might be surprised to know some of those blessings, you might recognize some of them from other places. For instance, there's a blessing, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, boreini minei besamim. That's from the Havdalah service when we smell the spices, right? Which is symbolically taking a piece of Shabbat into the week to help get us through the week. But that's actually a blessing for enjoyment for anything you smell that's nice. You walk outside and smell flowers or a blooming tree, you could say that blessing as a way of bringing God into that moment. You walk by somebody who's wearing a nice perfume or cologne, you could say it then too. Those are those kinds of blessings for enjoyment. Now, one of the things that you'll learn about me is I love the Hebrew language. because it's got a root structure to it and lets you do all kinds of interpretations with words. That's why we have such long books like, Midrash and Talmud, that they keep going and expounding on all the different possibilities for these word connections. So where does the word Baruch come from? Are there any Israelis here? Good, at least I won't embarrass myself in case I say it wrong. So there are two modern words in Hebrew that use that same root. One of them is for your knee, that is berech, okay? This is your berech, and you can hear the similarity to Baruch. If any of you go swimming in Israel, if you're not in the Mediterranean, you're going to want to be in a pool. A pool is called berecha, and you can hear the connection there. So what's the connection between your knees in a pool? Well, if you think about it, 2,500 years ago, they didn't have plumbing in buildings, so you had to go to a well or some other collection of water, and you had to draw yourself down by bending your knees to get the water. And we can't live without water, right? You can live maybe 3 or 4 days with no water. Food we can live with for weeks without food, not water. So the connection there is we are blessing, we are recognizing the importance of the moment by connecting it to that history from way back thousands of years ago, as well as just to things that happen to us every day in our lives. We can say a blessing when we learn what those blessings are, but you can also make up blessings. There's no law that says you can't make up a blessing. So what I want you to do is think for a minute, and if you're willing to, if you're brave enough, think of some blessing you'd like to say to somebody near you. It could be a family member, it could be a stranger, it could be somebody you know, but maybe not so well. And think of something, look at them, whatever, think, what can I bless this person about? It might be something they're wearing, it might be something you know about them, maybe it's something they did for you years ago, and you never knew that they never knew that you appreciated it so much. So take a minute, try and say a blessing to somebody near you, okay? To be working with you and your beautiful voice. So perhaps together we will continue to learn blessings in the future over the coming holidays. I'm blessed to be here this weekend with you. I'm honored to be your guest. I'm looking forward to spending the month of Tishrei with you, which will take us from mid-September through not just the high holidays, but Sukkot, Shmini Atzeret, Simchat Torah, and as I understand it, the 65th anniversary, another blessing for this congregation. So I look forward to that, and so thank you for having me. Shabbat Shalom. Speaking of blessings, one of the blessings that we do for people who are ill is to wish them good health. And in fact, there's, some of you may know this, there's a Jewish tradition that if somebody is seriously ill, the family actually considers changing their name from whatever their Hebrew name is to something connected to life or health. So for instance, if your name is Abraham and you've got this terrible sickness, maybe your family's going to take you to the Torah and change your name to Chaim, which means life. And there are a number of people for whom that's happened. When we say the Mishiberach prayer, which is traditional, we are blessing everyone who is ill, whether it's an illness of body or of soul. And so Audrey is going to come up and read the names of those who are currently on the congregation's Mishiberach list. And when she finishes, I'll go around the room and point to you and give you a chance to add whatever names you might have that you'd like to say Mishiberach blessing for. Okay. And then we'll sing the one together with Tracy.
Yeah. Before I read the list, I just found out yesterday that two of my dearest friends, both of them are not well. So I want to say a prayer for John and Lorette Ishak. And on our list are Tony Lee, Hannah Levin, Valerie Horner, Rona Paquette, Jackie Farrell, Miriam Schneer, Abraham Lauby, Louise Ziff, Richard McGinty, Morton Kaplan, Bonnie Levine, John Farrell, Lindsay Martin, Tamara Fishman, Martin Jean, Rabbi Jeffrey Ablisser, Igor Kurgansky, Kevin Killup, Clara Lobach, Maya Claus, Susan Tuck Sweetman, Emmett McDonald, Glenn and Melanie Dunn, Sharon Schneer, Rebecca Chappis, Avija Davidok, Dina Fahy, Ari Bansara, Linda Stewart, Cheryl Nicole Wright, Colleen Halpern, Karen Devora Bot Masodi V. Norman, Lori Curtis, Asher Israel, Ray Zoy, Alana Bot Dora, Terry McCastiker, Alyssa Wright Tammy, B. Mona, Gail Kaplan, Yosef Shimon, Rabbi Chazan Devora Fick, Solomon Smear, Laya Reyes Pullman, Elizabeth Enright, Sue Ann Frankel, Sharon Mock, who I hear is much better, Harry Indig, Carol Charlton, Henry Dinendale Jr., Tom Arbor, Karen Duncan. Special prayers for safekeeping for all in Israel, Iris Caver Berliner and family, Michael Orley Yuval, and Noam Kessler, and all the soldiers, hostages, and those who have been released.
Thank you. Okay, any other names people want added that were not on that list? Do we let people say names online? Do they put them in the chat? Anybody online want to put a name in the chat? Okay. So Mishi Berach prayer you can find on page 370.
71.
Sorry, 371.
Mishel Berach Avotenu Mikor HaBracha Neimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Thank you. We're ready now for the concluding prayers of our service, beginning with Aleinu on page 586. Aleinu really means it's on us. It's on our shoulders to be carrying out this Jewish tradition and doing all these things, and that includes trying to make the world a better place, blessing each other, and blessing the world, and bringing our blessings to others. It's traditional to rise for this. We'll begin on the second paragraph on page 586, singing together. And then we go from there to page 589. So bottom half of 586 first.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה יוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כיוכיו רוצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך
589. Let's read together in the English. Let the time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of the prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר לך אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated. See, when you're nervous, you make mistakes. That was actually on page 591, but it sounds like you guys knew it well enough, so thank you for covering up for me. We Jews are a people of memory, and it's interesting to note that in Judaism, we don't celebrate people's births publicly, but we celebrate their deaths. Not celebrate, but commemorate their deaths, because we want to remember the life that they lived, not just the day that they were born. And so it's traditional to do what's called a yahrzeit, the sort of Yiddish word for the anniversary of someone's passing. In addition to that, of course, people who will say mourner's Kaddish are those who are in mourning because they've lost a loved one recently, which might be within the 7 days or the first 30 days, and in the case of parents, for up to a year. And so this week we want to recognize recent deaths of Cecil Halpert, husband of Barbara Halpert, and all the victims of the wars in Israel and other places as well. Are there other people who are in mourning that came tonight that were not on the list, either 7 days or 30 days? Okay, and then the yahrzeits for this week. Earl Burston, father of David Burston. Hilda Klempner. Leanne Landau, cousin of Lanny Jaffe. Isaac Miroff, father of Maddie Weingarten. Hilda Shirky Nissenbaum, grandmother of Tracy Atten. Sylvia Shelby, stepmother of Stu Shelby. Avram Sherman. Sydney Winograd. Are there any names that are coming in on the chat for Kaddish? Anybody else have names that weren't on the list that want to be remembered this week? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Any others? First of all, for those who are in mourning, we say the traditional words of comfort, Hamakom Yinachem Etchem, B'toch Sha'ar Avilei Yerushalayim, Yisrael Yerushalayim. May God comfort all of those among all the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And then if you would like to rise for this call and response prayer, the Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba Amen. Be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'gala mizman karim v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam omei omaya. Yitbarach, yishtabach, yipa'ar, yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar, v'yitale, v'yitala. Shmei d'kutsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Huya seh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei ve'alinu. Amen. Please be seated. We have some announcements this evening, but I'm not sure who's going to be giving the announcements. Sarah will do those.
Okay.
everybody is welcome to stay for a little oneg afterwards and a meet and greet and talk with Rabbi Gordy and Sharon, his lovely wife down there. Tomorrow morning, we will be having a Torah study session led by and with the rest of the group who normally comes to Torah study. We're also going to have a little lunch afterwards, so if that helps encourage you to come, there'll be tuna, egg, the usual Kiddush stuff afterwards. 10 a.m. Next Friday, August 22nd, our 7 p.m. service will be led by Harvey Kessler, and I believe Tracy may come and help him, but it will not be here. It will be at 5151 Riverside Drive East. And thank you to the Blockers and to Mary and to Lanny and Stephen and there's one more, the Freeds, who will be sponsoring us. And if anybody needs a ride, please let us know. And I think that's it. Oh. Thursday night at the JCC, there's a comedian from New York. Mickey somebody. Greenblatt, I think was his name. Okay. Pardon me? He's funny.
That's good for
All right. He's a comedian. He better be funny. Thank you very much.
One of the nice things about blessings are that they can help us feel hopeful. And so we thought tonight for our closing hymn, rather than a traditional one, we would turn to page 678 and sing our Jewish song of hope, the Hatikvah. Again, those of you who would like to rise for Hatikvah are welcome to, and if you're not able to, that's all right as well. Bottom half, page 678.
Kolot beleva pnima nefesh Yehudi homiya ulfate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia. Tikvateinu, hatikva bashnot alpayim, liotam choshi be'atzenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim. Liotam choshi be'atzenu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank
Shabbat
you all
Shalom.
for coming. Thank you to those who joined us on Zoom. And we look forward to, oh, God, we're doing the blessings here. Speaking of blessings, thank you for reminding me, Sarah. We're going to do Kiddush and blessings here.